achieved with CryEngine.
So I'm not finding the subtitle section, which is weird. Sure. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm just a blind goose. So, I think now I'm finally done stalling. But yeah, Crysis Remastered has been in on sale, so I was also pleased that I just found an extra bag of money on my in my bank, aka I spent less money than I thought I spent. So yeah, and since I'm a big fanboy of this series, I straight had to grab it. Yeah. There. The biggest problem for me right now is I did not grab a lot of sleep, and so I will probably only be playing this for 4 hours or so. I'm just going as long as my head allows me to. But that is why the commentary will probably be scarce. The main thing I will be looking at though is how they changed the levels in of itself. Like in the first Crysis I talked a lot about how they changed the AI inventor. There were a lot less AI spawning or swarming you, but the trade-off they did, they made the AI way more deadly, aka way more aware, and it is halfway cheap because like sure the threat level is the same, but you want to feel like superhuman when playing the Crysis series. So taking down a lot of enemies often gets you more for your buck in terms of accomplishment in the player, where just fighting a few enemies that almost seem unfair. Now, I should rather say it like this. There is a small line between something being challenging and something being annoying. My favorite example, since I hate it, is running challenges, where like Dying Light and Dying Light 2 had a lot of those, where there was just a running parkour. It would take about 4 minutes, and then you get medallions up to how fast you cleared that course. And then Dying Light 2 was just swarmed with challenges like that, or just take down X amount of opponents. Like maybe some people enjoy that, but like running challenges, the fun comes half from how nice it feels to run and to parkour the road, which Dying Light and Dying Light 2 make pretty good jobs. So it kind of was expected to see those challenges back in that game, but the game vastly did too many of those. But as someone like me who likes to actually either see improvement in what he does, or like I want to climb and actually feel like I went over a wall and stand up top of the wall when I did something, you know? And the AI just making them more aware where you are is extremely cheap. The best example in Crysis for the cheapness of it is when you fight the nanosuit guys. Not only have they more range to detect you, but they also have ace aim. So you always need to have the draw on them, and also make sure that no other nanosuit guy is flanking you, or like even one guy just has the ability to return fire and nuke you before you can gun him down, unless you're using the very late game weapons like the gauss weapon and the minigun, or explosive ammunition. And if you use something else, and they use the same weapon as you, they will be able to gun you down before you gun. Even though you have the opening shot, they will have the advantage because they have ace aim, which is my nice way of saying they have aimbot, of course. I could have went the way of saying, like, if an AI is too aware of where the player is, it will seem like they have inhuman reflexes and aimbot. But man, it's an AI. It has aimbot by default. So it's weird to me to go that route. Also, you have to give a little bit of leeway, since like, I think the worst shooting system for an AI I've seen was they would only hit at a certain bullet. Like, they would shoot 5 bullets and the 5th one would always hit, and 4 of them would always miss. This is one of the worst way to balance AI. And then when you go difficulty degrees, the bullets would hit 1 slot earlier. And remember the times around Battlefield 2? Like, you would not have recoil in your red dot or your scope. Instead, you would always hit, the weapon would always fire in a certain way. In a way, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is the last relic that uses the schablone or the fixed firing style of weapons. Sure, weapons still fire in a certain manner, but when you're ADS, your camera moves in the way the gun moves. So, which is way more engaging and immersive gun behavior in general, instead of having a gun and you only see the gun wobble a little bit and then the bullets going to certain places. But to bring it back to Crysis 2, this is something I will keep in mind, since I have played all Crysis games quite a lot. So, like I said, I will see if they cheapskated on AI and increase the difficulty of the AI as a trade-off. Also, cloaking again. Thanks to RTX, it will probably be really hard to see enemy cloaked units, which will make the finale interesting, to say the least. I know that when I played Crysis 2 the last time, I had trouble even seeing the normal dudes. Man. Oh. But hey, we will now start. And of course I'm gonna skip the opening cutscene since it's bad. It was scuffed. Crysis 2 in general is a scuffed composition, since when I read it somewhere when it came out, or after it came out, that Crysis 2 was the project because they needed more money for Crysis 3. So they went with the build that they had, created a basic corridor shooter that would fill in some lore, but in the end all you are learning in this game is how the nanosuit basically makes you a walking zombie. That is all we are gonna learn at the end of this game. Then there's a small reset for the next thingy magic. for this third game, but it's not really that massive of a reset. I recently became more aware of how primitive but amazing our body does stuff. Because, man, we do so much through smell in general. Like the easiest example is cheese. Cheese is something that is absolutely rotten and disgusting. But some weirdo at some point decided, let's eat that, find out if it kills me. I do not know the circumstances under which he made that decision, but I'm thankfully that some dudes followed up on that and actually created what we call cheese today. Because I love cheese. I eat cheese every day. Yeah. Also, yeah, smell is extremely important in romantic matters. Like, especially women care a lot of smell, like perfume or yeah, smell can make a man extremely more attractive than he actually is. Just like talking, but talking is more skill based. Yeah. But there's also the easy example, like if you don't shower for a week or something, like people in general become less attracted to you. So unless they are also smelly people that do not care how you smell. But yeah, in the end, smell is hair, or it get received by hair, by your wet tissue and hairs in your nose, which is so weird. Because hair you also use to feel like wind and stuff, you know? Or to tickle someone, often you only need to move hair, and they will be ticklish. Okay, that is now really the end of stalling, of warming up my talky bits. Let's crack right into it. New post-human. Ah, fuck it, let's just watch it anyway.
So, Gary, who do you like?
Well, I tell you, so far I like what I'm seeing here in New York. They got a pretty strong team as usual. That's in the Eastern. And the Western, I'm liking San Francisco, but with Los Angeles as the sleeper.
Okay, so we're looking at a New York, San Francisco in the finals, or possibly LA. You heard it here first, folks. We'll call Gary on it at the end of the season. That's all the sport. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for the workout.
Thanks, guys. And that's not all we're following. Here's Dan at the help desk.
3 more employees at their Times Square headquarters have been diagnosed with...
Freenet have denied reports of a biochemical leak at their Midtown research unit. Parent company Hargreave Rash were unavailable for comment.
But this was one of the major things why Crysis stood out to me so much, because they went here through a good effort to make the in-game graphics merging with real footage as much as possible. Of course they used some video editing magic to blur some lines, but often you need to look twice in order to see the difference. And they actually cut down some of the drag along stuff. Like there were some scenes that were supposed to be 3-4 seconds longer.
Confirming point south 1.
Like for example, they are coming guy. He would say it twice. They cut him short, which is nice because it was so cringe.
So what's the word? Sit till we get orders to deploy. Kill us some bad guys.
There's no bad guys up there, Folsom. Keep telling you, this is a strictly humanitarian crisis. Ebola or some such shit. Tell him, Alcatraz.
Alcatraz ain't talking much this morning. Contrary to popular belief, people, tequila is not good for your health. Right, Al? Just nod your head. We'll know you're alive. There you go.
Anyway, it's bullshit. You don't call Force Recon for an EMAT evac. There are bad guys up there. I swear. I can feel it.
Get the hell off.
Listen up, Marines. Time to go get this Dr. Gould. Get your asses forward. Get scuba gear on. 10 minutes. Weapons prep.
I told you. You don't take out the Ebola virus with an M16.
Yeah, just don't shoot this Gould, okay?
Man, I heard it was an alien invasion.
Yeah, right. Illegal aliens.
What the fuck was that? Get out, people! Back up!
Abandoned ship. Repeat. Abandoned ship. Catastrophic hull breach. Control. We are hit. Repeat. We are hit. Abandoned ship.
So when I was testing stuff, I already noticed that they have fixed some of the headwork on these guys. They won't just stare to one direction, they will actually follow. They will actually follow where you are. And oh. Because it was always weird that they would just stand to one direction. And you as a player, only the first time you play this game are standing where you are supposed to stand, or in the general direction. It was always a slight awkward moment. But I didn't mind it because this is tutorial section.
Chino! Didn't make it, man. Alcatraz is last out. What happened to these people, man? Just don't touch them. Hey! Looks like Lady Liberty took some heavy fire!
I feel dumb. Like, I was wondering why my performance is so much more stable than when I tested. But I did the test on 120 frames per second instead of having it limited like right now in 66.